So Rabbi says we're holding now Sefirah, so we know that at the time of Avelus. So I wanted to take a look at the dinim in Shulchan Aruch Harav, the dinim that pertain to Sefirah. Simin Tov Tzaddik Gimel, dinim hanoyagim b'imei ha'omer. Noyagim, we have a minig shelisa isha. Shaloi lisa isha, not to get married. V'shaloi lihistaper, not to take a haircut. Bein Pesach latzeres. Why? Shemis ablin halchaf dalad alofim mitalmid Rebbe Kiva shemeisu b'yamalol. 24,000 students of Rebbe Kiva that were nifter in this period of time. So that's regarding nisuin. There is kiddushin and there is nisuin. Kiddushin is the giving of the ring. It's considered kiddushin. Hareyat mikudeshes li b'tabazu. Kedas Meishav Yisrael. Then there is that we read the ksuba. We separate between the process of kiddushin and the process of nisuin. Kiddushin, by the way, is sometimes called. Together. Now we do it together. Erusin. Used to be in the times of Chazal. A man would, after he made a shidduch, would make an erusin. Make an erusin with her, and now she is only allowed. She is only for him. She's not allowed to be with anyone else. However, they still haven't moved in together, and there's the process of they haven't made a chuppah, and he hasn't brought her into his house. So there's no yichud, there's no nesuin. He hasn't. We don't say the Sheva brachas yet. So that was called the process of kiddush, and then she would have a year to get ready and everything. Once you do the chuppah and the yichud, that's considered nisuin. Kiddushin has another term, erusin. It's the same thing. Kiddushin and erusin, they're synonymous. The Maisa today, we do both of them together under the chuppah. You only need one paper, Rabbi say. It's two sides. We do it together underneath the chuppah, but reality is it's two separate processes. We make an interruption in between by reading the ksubah. Right. Reality is there's no meaning of reading the ksubah. The main thing is that he gives her a ksubah. We don't have to read the ksubah. He read it, she read it. We know he gives her the ksubah. It's signed. There's no the point of why we read the ksubah is to make a hefsek, a separation between these two processes of erusin / kiddushin and nisuin. To make a separation, we read the ksubah in between. We get an honor, and someone gets an honor to read it. And then you go on to the summa, you say the Sheva brachas, the 7 brachas, and then they go into the yichud. So the minig was that you're not allowed to lisa isha. You're not allowed to make any suin. You're allowed to make any. You're not allowed to make any suin.
So this today in Flatbush, because it's so small hole for making wedding.
Yeah.
The whole sphere they make chasana.
Well, it depends which group is probably. Have you group different?
You have like 18 or 20 holes to make a chasana over here, and it's booked from now to Shavuos. Because otherwise, Rabbonim says that there's no other way.
Okay. Aval Muttar, we'll see soon about that more. About
during the sphere?
The whole sphere.
Where?
It's in Flatbush. The whole sphere. Tonight you have a chasana. Yeah, the whole hole is finished.
Aval Muttar last the shidduchin, v'lo nisuin. Was allowed to make a shidduchin without a nisuin. Shema yikad menu acher. Maybe someone else will. Yeah. Come in. So yeah. Muttar gam king last a suda lacher shidduchin. One can make an engagement suda. Or you la'acher kiddushin and make an engagement after a suda after the kiddushin. Today is not applicable because we do the kiddushin together with the nisuin.
So what the lechaim they're making nowadays?
You're allowed to make. You're allowed to make a suda la'acher shidduchin.
Lechaim is with wine. You're getting.
Yeah, they have a whole suda. They put out a whole suda for the shidduch. But you're not allowed to make dancing by the suda. You're allowed to have a suda, but you're not allowed to have a dancing. These are things that have a shaykhis to a mitzvah. It's not a suda's mitzvah. A suda for a shidduch is not a suda's mitzvah. It's people do it, but it's not a suda's mitzvah. But it has some shaykhis to a mitzvah, right? Shidduchim, kiddushin. If even over there you're not allowed to make rikud and mechelas dancing, for sure. If it's stam dancing that's not connected at all to a mitzvah, there's no reason. But you're allowed to make a suda surashus. You want to have a suda. There's no connection to a mitzvah. You just want to make a party. You're allowed to make a party. Because Simchas Mereyus, your friends get together for some reason.
Like a bar mitzvah.
Wait, 1 minute.
Oh.
But loyri kidin mechaylis, the simcha says, as long as you don't make extra simcha there, or anything like a dancing like that, it's fine to have a suda. Now, what's with a bar mitzvah? A bar mitzvah has a status of a sudas mitzvah. It doesn't fall into the category of the things over here. That's why by bar mitzvah you'll see that they do dance. And most bar mitzvahs, except for certain litvisha.
But no music.
But they're still not maker with music. But the dancing, I'll tell you something interesting. Shulchan Aruch never talks about not playing musical instruments. Does not say it. We just read the dinim. That's it. That's all the dinim you're going to hear about dancing. You're not going to hear anything about music. Doesn't say anything about instruments. Obviously, cliche is also a problem. That's also part of the minig. But that's not something clearly it says in Shulchan Aruch. But Lamaisa, you see that the Oilam is even more strict with that, because what's more simcha? Kli shir is much more simcha than Rekud and Mechayil. This is real. You have Kli shir, you have musical instruments. It's obviously much more simcha. So therefore, the bar mitzvah, which is a sudas mitzvah, which is none of these things we mentioned here are sudas mitzvah. A suda for a shidduchin is not a sudas mitzvah. A suda for a kiddushin, not a sudas mitzvah. Our Suda for Chassan is a Suda mitzvah because it's also a Suda for the Nisuin.
Right.
There's Kiddush and Nisuin, you have back to back, just with that Ksub in between. So your Suda afterwards is celebrating also the Nisuin, everything. So it's a Suda mitzvah. But for Kiddush and Shidduchin itself, is not a Suda mitzvah. It has a Shaykhis to mitzvah, maybe you could say Ktsas mitzvah, but it's not a mitzvah. It's not called a Suda Sarishos. We don't give it the title Suda Sarishos, we give it the title in between Suda mitzvah and Suda Shiddushos. Bar mitzvah is a real sudas mitzvah. That's why you're allowed to dance by the sudas mitzvah.
Why bar mitzvah is sudas mitzvah?
But Lamaisa, we're still not makel. The minig is we're still not makel with actual musical instruments. So they dance and things like that. And
what is it
some people play a tape if they're makel with a tape.
Acapella, yeah.
You can have an acapella.
It's very hard to play.
It's nicer
dance.
than music.
It's hard to dance that kind of music. I was in a bar mitzvah in a Sefirah. They're dancing like Yetzir. It's not.
But the
there was a year that the Rebbe spoke like Boimer that those who did not have a chance to make something special for the Simcha of Rashbi or Shema Yechoy can do so. Should do so after like Boimer, like next to like Boimer, but they should do it in a oifen that is a pi halacha 100% Muttar. Meaning, no music and dancing. But the Rebbe said, since you're making like an extra simcha, so therefore you should connect it with a sudas mitzvah by someone making a siyum there. So a suda for a siyum is a sudas mitzvah.
Right.
Just to cover all the grounds. But l'maisa, this is the minig. Now, mi shekafats. He says in Sif Beis, Misha Kafa, Lagabi, by the way, musical instruments. There are poiskin that want to tell you that the tape recorder is also a musical instrument. So even if you're playing a tape, which is a cappella, and it's not from musical instrument, they say that the actual tape recorder is an instrument. It's a musical instrument.
That's a stretch.
That's too much.
That's a stretch.
Some people say it's a kli shir. It's a keli that's mamsi shir.
But that's not roivish tantrus. That's not.
So that's why you have some people that are machmer with well, I'm talking about some people that are machmer with a tape recorder. Some people are maker with tapes.
They say that the kiyah shofar on the tape would be yotzezan.
It's not live anyways, but you can't be yotze. You shadows by telephone.
Yeah.
The mice with a telephone is like this. Telephone was a big discussion. And the Rebbe was very very clear about this. Not always did the Rebbe take stances in halacha issues. The Rebbe did have some famous stances. This is one of his famous stances that the Rebbe held that anything which a Torah requires you to actually hear the koil, the sound of the voice of the person or the shofar, he says this is not anyone who understands how the microphone works. The microphone is the waves are merely transmitting and giving.
It's delayed. All the microphone is delayed.
It's not you're not actually hearing the person's voice. It's not coming to your ear. It's sort of like a tape recorder. You're hearing a recording. It's the person's. I don't know how the phones work, but the person's his voice is
It's an echo. It's an echo.
creating certain waves, whatever it is, and wave sound. On those are being turned, and that's what the person hears.
Right.
It makes an exact copy, but you're not actually hearing the physical coil. So therefore, he said Mikra and Megillah shofars. Anyways, on Rosh Hashanah you can Yom Tov, but things that require actually the voice of a person, the Rebbe didn't want it, unless Chazal didn't actually require the voice. So the Torah doesn't actually require the voice. It's just we didn't know his opinion. We don't actually need to hear the voice, and then it's okay to hear.
No, Megillah is Mikra Megillah. You have to read it and to hear it.
No, actually,
What's
in
a
the,
mikra?
in the shul in Alexandria,
Ah.
they had all of these
Ah.
problems. Every single thing that you covered.
When you have a huge
Thank you,
shul,
Baruch.
they have a shul in Egypt, so they waved. They waved the flag to let you know when to say Amen. The answer is like this. When it comes to Amen, the main point of Amen is not, you don't actually have to hear the Chazan saying Kaddish. Meaning you should hear him, but if you can't hear him, you're allowed to answer Amen. You should answer Amen if you know the timing. If you hear someone else answering Amen, you can answer Amen. You hear someone else saying Baruch Hu, you can also say Baruch Hu. You come to shul. A lot of times you might not hear the Chazan saying Baruch Hu, but you can hear someone in the car that's saying Baruch Hu. You can also say Baruch Hu. You should say Baruch Hu. Same thing with Amen. Amen, you don't actually have to hear the Chazan's voice to be obligated in saying Amen. And therefore the timing is what's necessary. So if you're watching a video, you're hearing on the phone someone saying something, yes, you could say Amen. But that won't help you for anything that you actually need to hear the coil of the person.
When
Now-
I was a kid in Yud Shvat, I said the Rebbe davened for the Omer.
Yeah.
So at Soul we had a tape that the Rebbe davened.
Yeah.
I remember it's like some Chassidim, Baruch Hu Shmo, Amen. So he says, no, don't say. No, I'm davening with the Rebbe. By us it's 4 o'clock in the morning. By here it's like 9:30 in the morning.
Sid Beis, Misha Kafas Venasa V'Yam Alolo in Kain Tzivizakum. Someone who did get married these days. He didn't ask the Rav, and he went and got married. I don't know who was his Rav to make the Kedusha, but he made his own.
He says, Shmulik says people in Flabish all over getting married.
No, last week, listen.
Firstly, you know, Flappish, you have a lot of different minhagim. Some keep the beginning, some keep the end.
Yeah,
So
but
you
no one
always.
holds the beginning is
Some people don't start till now, till tonight.
Well, that's probably what he meant.
And then some people. The question is, there is no one who's matir from now until like Boim.
Exactly, nobody. Exactly.
We'll talk about this in a minute. I'm going to discuss it. Let's just finish the next two dinim, then we're going to discuss situations that are ain't coincidence. We don't give you a knas. The community those days, Kehillah had a power. Community were self-governing Jewish communities, and they had an amount of power. You know, the Jew in the shtetl, the Jewish quarter, the Kehillah had a power to rule over each other. Every religion ruled over each other. So the Jewish people ruled over the Jewish people. To get married years ago, there was no such a thing as a civil marriage. Before there was, only in the United States, so there was no such a thing. There was only religious marriage. Either you're getting married by the Galach, or you're getting married or you're getting married by the Rav. Like in Eretz Yisrael today. Eretz Yisrael, there's no such thing as civil marriage. You can only get married either by a Galach, or by a Muslim, or by the Rav. So that's all you can get married by. So you had that, now we have such a secular countries of the concept of civil marriage.
It used to be, but not anymore.
So anyways, they had a concept, they don't give you a knas.
What kind
Even
of knas
sha'asa
is it?
mitzvah. Whatever the Rav decide, the Kehillah can give you a knas. You went against the minig. We feel it's important to set a standard. The Kehillah had ability to give you a knas. You know, Shulchan Aruch talks about how much you have to give a knas. You kick someone, you punch someone, there's knasim. I know someone one time who was a Talmud Chacham, but he had a problem with anger. And he didn't like something that someone was doing, and he gave him a punch. After it was on a Yom Tov. After Yom Tov, he sent them $100. And he looked up the halacha, and he sent them, I don't know, $100. How much? What was the cheshbon? If it was more or whatever, but he gave $100. The guy said, Shikoyach, I don't need the $100.
You're gonna have to give me a lot more than that if you want me to be moichel you.
In court, you can get more. No,
Salt.
You pay the lawyer more than that already.
he didn't go to court, but he didn't want to take the money. Now, Avo Misha Staper b'Yamalalu, but someone who took a haircut those days, because there's no mitzvah to take a haircut. Taking a haircut is less of a severe transgression as a wedding. A wedding is more a happy event. But going to get married, you did a mitzvah in the ending, so we're not going to give you a knas to do a mitzvah. But if you cut your hair, you're going to have a knas for being over the minhag. We see it's a serious minhag, this minhag. Mi shleikiyam aidai in piri mitzvahs piri v'divya. Someone who didn't yet have children, or he doesn't have a wife to take care of him. Since al pi halacha, he's allowed to get married even in the shloishim after the passing of a father and mother. It's not a minig, it's a chiyim mitzad chachamim to have a shloishim, avelis shloishim. For sure, in these days, when the whole avail is only a minig, for sure he would be allowed to. Mikol makim, medinas el nagul. In these countries, the minig is to be machmer. The minig is more chomer than the din. Avol who's toich shloishim. If he didn't have children yet, he doesn't have a wife to take care of him, he could get married. But during Lag Ba'omer, the minig is not to. The minig is more chomer. Minig is what we accept upon ourselves. It's like a neder. What Klal Yisrael accept themselves. The Alter Rebbe doesn't say that all of Klal Yisrael accepted. He says in those countries, meaning by the Ashkenazim, that was the case. I don't know by the Sfardim what was the case.
If he divorced and he has kids, and she divorced and
but
she
if he needs
kids.
a wife, he doesn't have someone to take care of, he needs someone to take care of him, then he can get married. If he doesn't have a wife, Now, let's just do one more halacha, then we'll discuss weddings. Because sheyesh mila b'yamim halalu, mutarim baalei habris. When there is a meal these days, the Baalei Habris. What is the Baalei Habris? This comes up by Tachnun in different places. Baalei Habris refers to three people: Hamoyel, Sandik, V'Avi Haben. B'Yoyim Shelifnei Hamila, Samach LeErev, Koi Demalicha LeBeis HaKnesset L'Stafer. The night before Shkia, the night before you're allowed to already take a haircut. Meaning you're allowed to come into that night. That night is already Yom Simcha. Before the night comes, you could already cut your hair.
In Tisha B'Av was my older grandson's bar mitzvah. Married. So we met the milah afternoon, like 3 o'clock, and then Seudah I make in my house at night.
Now we're going to start learning. There's a big machloikus about the Lamed Gimid Yomim, when these 33 days are, he's supposed to have the Avelis. Now, because of that, there are certain leniencies in different times, because of restraints of holes to get married and different things. So there is room for certain leniencies. In Chabad years back, they did not get married in Lag Ba'omer. There's no chasanas in Lag Ba'omer. The Rebbe wrote that you should better push it off till after Shavuos. Chasanas till after Shavuos. Later on, Lag Ba'omer became more common because of the need, and
I'm going to Chazan this.
And then, not only like Ba'omer became the Shloishis Me'agbala. And we'll Mitzvah see now, starting Sefirah. Now, look, by the way, regarding haircuts, only if you need. Remember, even like Ba'omer, a person should always keep remembering that all these things are heterim, which when you're supposed to have the heter, you should use the heter.
For istiness.
But because the mitzvah, especially the Rebbe's shita was that it's very important to get married from the period between the shidduchin and the chasen. It should be as short as possible. He held that the marriage would be a lot better that way, and the shorter the period of time in between, things would be a lot better. It would be more tznius, and the marriage would go better.
Didn't the Rebbe himself?
It was opposite of a lot of chassidish welt where they give themselves a year. The Rebbe said because he himself, it didn't work out by him that way, therefore he's saying from experience not to do it. That's not a good idea that someone should be bound to a woman for a long period of time. A person should be able to go from a shidduchim and go right to the nesuah. He didn't want there should be time. Therefore the Rebbe, later years, the Rebbe was more lenient on certain dates, which it's better not to make chasanas on, was more lenient because of the singing. And especially because also you have the issue of halls, when a lot of communities don't have enough halls, and you don't have the option of just picking all the dates you want. So you have that constraint, so you have to keep all the cheshbainis. Someone maybe is going to get engaged before Nisan, but if they don't get married like Ba'omer or Shoshim Agbala, they might have to push it off till after the summer. In summertime they don't want to make a chasan because everyone's away, and all the friends are in camp, and whatever they are, and the friends are away in bungalow colonies, so it's not as many people like to make chasanas. and then you have the 3 weeks. So you have all different types of cheshbonos which a Rav has to keep in mind. But l'chatchila, someone's able to, and there's no reason why not, and obviously you should try to keep to the din. Let's take a look.
Chabad today doing like Mohammed, Chabad today doing.
I'm saying is that I think that even Chabad today has to always remember that it's based on a heter, it's based on a need. If there's going to be in a place, a town, whatever it is, where you have hole that's always available, and whatever, and then why should you not follow what the Rebbe said? The Rebbe said you should better not do like Weimer. Meaning the reason why we're lenient lately about these things is because there's a need. What happens if there's going to be no need? If we're in a place, another Chabad community which is outside and there's no need because there's many halls,
They could push after Shavuos.
then you should do it later. Unless someone got engaged much earlier and pushing it much later is already making a very long stretch between. It's another cheshbon to think. But let's say they got married before, right at the ending of Adar, the beginning of Nisan, and so why do it in Shoshim Agbola if you're able to do it on Issur Chag afterwards? We're talking about a week, pushing it off a week. If you're saying you're not going to have any halls and you have to push after the summer, okay. But if not, then we'll wait till Issur Chag.
I'm saying, but it's a lot more than a week. You have Lag Boimer is Chai year.
Let's say they're not ready like Boimer. They get married. Let's say they got engaged Rish Chodesh Nisan.
I understand.
Rish Chodesh Nisan. They're not ready like Boimer, but they say we'll be ready Shloshim Agbola. They say, look, we see people doing the Shloshim Agbola. Well, if you don't have a choice, you do Shloshim Agbola. But if you do have a choice, do it after. Let's Bechlal see the reason why Shloshim Agbola has a kula to it. Where's the svara that should be more kuladik? The lashon we read until now was Bein Pesach Latzeres. What are these 33 days? Bein Pesach Latzeres is 49 days. So it's not from Sefirah to Omer is 49 days till Shavuos. So what's the cheshbon of the 33 days? So we're going to see there are two main shittas. One shita holds it starts from Sefirah to Omer until Lag BaOmer. The other shita is it's the second 33 days. Now within each shita, you have another shita, which makes a little change. So each shita, the general shita is either the first 33 days or the last 33 days. But within each shita, there's another shita which makes a little bit of a twist, a little bit of a knetch. So we'll take a look inside Sefirah. Lame Gimel Yamim, these 33 days, there's some type of lashon here which is not clear in the Alter Rebbe's Shulchan Aruch. Maybe there's a printing mistake. It doesn't say Lamed Gimel Yamim Elu or in Bechlal until Sefirah, we never knew it's 33 days.
Maybe that's why it's Sefirah, because it's Halag Yamim.
Until this Sefirah, we never even knew it was 33 days. If you're just reading Shulchan Aruch, it says Bein Pesach Latzeres. Suddenly now we're saying Lamed Gimel Yamim. Okay. Something's there's supposed to be another word or two here. Lamed Gimel Yamim Yesh Oimrim. Some say Shemaschilim Yom Rishon Shel Sefirah. So you start from the first day of Sefirah. Simon they finish Belag BaOmer Shebaoisi Yom that day Mesu HaAchronim Shel Chaftalav. The last, the 24,000 passed away on that day. Lefichach Noyegin, the minig is Ktsas. There's a little bit of a minig. Laharbeis Besimcha B'Yom Zeh, to make joyfulness on this day. Ve'enim Mitachnon Shebai B'Yom Paskalim. By the way, in the Nigla Sfarim, there's no mention about this being the Yom Halula, the Yom Estalkos of Shabbat Yechoy. Alpin Nigla, the only thing that there isn't like Boimer is that it's the day that the last students of Kiva Eger, that Kiva passed away. Now,
it doesn't even say that in Nigla. On the contrary, according to Nigla, even according to Nistar and Arizal, it doesn't indicate that at all. What it says it says is that was the day that he got Smicha.
The Rebbe says that you're right. You're 100% right. Even this, that this is the day they passed away. We know they passed away between this period of time between Pesach and Atzeres. That's a clear Gemara. But that they actually stopped on Lag BaOmer does not say in Chazal. That we have, like Rishonim already started to mention it. The Meiri, I think, mentions that we have a Masorah.
How we know that?
It's a Masorah. It's a tradition that we have. Already Rishonim mentioned this Masorah. This is already mentioned. The Alter Rebbe is bringing it down already from earlier Paskim. This is already. I remember seeing some of the Rishonim mention it. That it was unlike Baim that they stopped passing away.
And if you Rabbi
But I mean in Nigla, I don't mean just the Chazal. I meant in Paiskim and all the Sifra Rishonim and Paskim don't discuss it's the day of Rosh Pizeh Milol. That's something Api Kabbalah.
Even Api Kabbalah.
Even Api Kabbalah, it's not Pashit. It's in a certain Svarim.
Right, and it says that it's not true.
Yeah, there's a big discussion
It's not like
about.
Ba'omer, you said?
Rav Shimon Yochai was before.
Ben Ish Chai himself, right?
I mean, the Rabbi Akiva. He was a Talmud of Rabbi
Omer was
Akiva.
not the yahrzeit of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai.
So why do people
It
took
was the day he received smicha.
A lot of it's Makubal and most of the Klal Yisrael that it is. There is a big discussion, but the Chida discusses it. One place he says that it is, another place he says that he heard it wasn't. There's a lot of discussion about it. L'maisa, it's accepted. The minig is that we do accept it. That's why we go to Hashem Bayichai's Kamer. Avshem Meisu mixes mehem b'yoyim zeh. Even though some did pass away on the actual day like Bayimer, so why should we be simcha on this day? True, they stop, but maybe we should make a simcha the next day. Mikol Markin le'in avelos, the klalos when it comes to avelos. Yoyim ha'achar, the last avelos like Shiva, the last day of Shiva, the last day of Shloishim. On a Omer mixes hayoyim kekulik when shkas b'yerdei submission found the K dini avelos. The concept mix hayoyim kekulik, part of a day is like the whole day. It means if you have a night and a little bit of the day, so you have roiv hayoyim, roiv of the day. 51% is enough. Mix hayoyim is like you have kol hayoyim. We're makel this kula for the when it comes to avelus for the last day of avelus. Means shiva. People get up in the morning to shiva, right? They don't sit the whole day, the last 7th day. So it's based on the concept of mix hayoyim kekule by the last day of avelus. Leficha kishenoyeg avelus sha'achas epoches b'yom lamegimel. Daina shemineyam and lestapa. You refrain from cutting your hair. Ad la'achar sheher hayoyim. Till after Alois HaShachar of Lag Boimer. Dai Bakach, it's enough. As long as a little bit of the day went past by, you're allowed to cut your hair, Belisa Beisha. V'chein, and according to this opinion, the Lag Boimer Velach, from Lag Gimel on, no more Avelis. V'imchal Lag Gimel Bechav Shabbos, if Lag Boimer fell on Sunday, Noyigim the stop of Eresham the Kavod Shabbos. Because of the Kavod Shabbos, we allow you to cut your hair Eresh Shabbos already.
This is like Bomer or Atzeres?
Like Ba'omer.
Like Boimer even. Like Boimer falls on Sunday,
So Thursday night you're
allowed to cut your hair already Eresh Shabbos. I don't know if it includes Thursday night. Maybe till the Eresh Shabbos, it's Friday.
You said that the Rebbe Rashab was upset even and
We'll see soon because we have to. This is the first sheet.
Okay.
Somebody has dry cleaning, working Friday hard. Yeah, Thursday night, maybe he has a head.
I see the people like that when you do in the morning.
Mikol Makim. Mikol Makim Afilu Balav. The Vaila, we don't understand the reason why we should make. By the way, just because like Boimer Sunday,
because they stop dying.
So why should I allow you to go on Erev Shabbos because covered Shabbos?
Same like Mommy said the night before you are allowed to. So here it's Shabbos. So the night before would be Thursday night.
But so every Shabbos is Sefirah Soimer be allowed to do the Erev Shabbos. Why is it special? Because like Boimer is on Sunday, Mitamol have a heter for Erev Shabbos.
Otherwise, you can't do it otherwise.
Why not? You could do it Shabbos in the morning.
No, you can't take a Shabbos morning.
I mean, Sunday morning. Like Boimer fell on Sunday. What do you gain? What is? What?
Right. You don't have to. There's nothing inherently more
special about the Shabbos. Yeah. What's special about the Shabbos?
Coming to Lag Bomer.
We'll see. Maybe we'll see from Meshach Vasif and
maybe that Shabbos itself is higher. Maybe because that Shabbos itself is higher.
They cover that Shabbos. I don't know. The Vaila, I don't understand it.
There's a lot of kedusha because there's even every Lag Boimer is Shabbos. So maybe you say you do it since you're allowed to. Anyway, you're allowed to cut erev Lag Boimer.
No, it doesn't say that yet.
After Chatzos, you're allowed to do erev
Lag Boimer.
On erev Lag Boimer, not.
No. We'll see in a minute. Only now, the only thing is in the morning you're allowed to. Before, even on Lamed Gimel itself, listen to this, Rabbi say. When we're matter you to do it on a like Boimer falls on the Shabbos, we allow you to cut your hair Erev Shabbos, like cover the Shabbos. Matzah Shabbos, you're not allowed to cut your hair. It's only beside covered Shabbos. Matzah Shabbos is no covered Shabbos. According to this opinion, Avelus is the whole night. The whole first night of like Boimer is Avelus. We're not knowing this way, but this is the first shita. You only in the morning of like Boimer can you listen to music and haircuts and have chassidus.
After a little while.
A little while into the morning, right in the early morning. But even this sheet, even when it's on Sunday, where Matthew Erev Shabbos, only it's at covered Shabbos. But Matzah Shabbos, If you didn't take your haircut out of Shabbat to Shabbat, you don't have the heter.
But the day start from the
Shabbat.
night. The day start from the night.
V'she'ein oymen al miksayim kekulei. Of a laila, if you look kulei, in a even you have the whole night, it's not kekol hayom. You need to have a night and a little bit of the day. I think it's because of the concept of roiv. You have the whole night, it's half, and then you have a little bit of the day, that's like 51%. Well, they paska avelus ad l'mocher b'yoyim, so therefore avelus does not stop until the morning. L'chein oymen, according to the shita, oymen tachnon betfilas ha-mincha sh'arav lag b'yoyim. The klal is, when do we say tachnon by a mincha before a special day, when do we not? That depends if the night of the day is also a Yom Tiv. If the night is also a Yom Tiv, then the mincha before we get ready and the oil is starting to shine of that night, we're coming closer to that night. So already by mincha we stop saying, like Shabbos, out of Yom Tiv, we already stop saying by mincha tachnu. But what happens is if the whole Yom, if the night is not a Yom Tiv, it's only a day Yom Tiv. For example, Pesach Sheni. Pesach Sheni is only because they used to bring the carbon Pesach Sheni on the day of Yudalid. So the night of Yudalid, there's nothing holy about it, nothing special.
But you still don't say tachnon for mincha before.
No. Pesach Sheni, we do say tachnon in the mincha before.
Right.
Because Pesach Sheni, the night before Pesach Sheni, the night Yudalid, the night after Pesach Sheni, some say you should eat matzah the night after also, because that's when you ate the carbon Pesach. Shchita's carbon Pesach was
the day.
The day, Yudalad Nisan, Yudalad Iyar. The eating of it was at night, like we have by the Seder, right? The night is the time when you have the carbon Pesach at night.
So Taka we say tachnon
right? You can't eat it till night. So the Maisa by Pesach, you look in the Siddur Al Rebbe before Kapitel Chaf, where it has the dinim of Tachnon. Of course, and Erev Pesach Sheni, you do say Tachnon. Like Bo'omer, according to this first opinion, you also say Tachnon by the Mincha before. Because the night before is still Avelus. Only when the night is also a Yom Tif, then the Mincha before, we ready stop saying Tachnon. However, now you're going to see, in the first Shita, you have a second Shita. In the first Shita, you have another Shita with a little bit of a different twist. The Shita also agrees that the first 33 days are the 3 days you're supposed to be Mis'avel on the Talmidei Rebbe Kiva. But one little knetch. There are those that stop saying Tachnon already by Erev like Boimer. How? They hold, but before we get to the ending, they hold that it was only 22 days. It was only 22 days. We only have Avelis for 22 days.
When they pass to die, go to that. Nothing like Muhammad the day before.
L'chor only Lamed Beis days. And like Bo'omer is a day that after they passed away. So since already it's only 32 days, comes out the 33rd night is already a Yom Tif. Already the night is also Yom Tov. Therefore, the mincha before you also say Tzitach. The fisha soimchin shebetchilas lel amid gimel pasuk avelos. Already the night like Boyim stopped avelos. L'chein and oimim tachlim minchal shalafanav. K'moi shenem minchal shalafnei shari yom shenem tachlim shaleilam kiyamim. Just like all other days. Lafi minhagim based on a minig mutarim gankin the stop of at least like Boyim. According to this cheshbon, you're allowed to cut here and marry already the night of like Boimer. According to their minig, it's only 32 days. This is our minig, by the way. Our minig is already the night of like Boimer. We already people cut here. They have music already. Weddings people generally don't make because it's very late at night when it becomes Tzeisek Yechavim. So you're going to start. If you want to make a wedding, you're going to have to have a very, very late wedding.
The chuppah cannot start early?
No. The chuppah is the real Nisuin. The Suda is already a Sudas Mitzvah. The chuppah is the actual Nisuin. So you can't have it by day. Who's going to make your chasen 8:45 at night? 8:30 at night. It's very late to start everything. So no
one can't start early?
Maybe the Kabbalah's Panim you can start earlier. But not the chuppah or anything. So therefore everyone makes it the second night. Second night. You start by day. But Lamaisa, you already see people are playing music, and already those people that take haircuts are taking haircuts already at night.
Even Kabbalah's Panim, or they start playing the music?
Can't play music by the Kabbalah's Panim if you would do such a thing. I don't know if you're allowed to make the Kabbalah's Panim, but maybe you would be. Kabbalah's Panim is not the actual chuppah. So
I'm going to a
there's always
Kabbalah's Panim.
Okay, Rabbi, so let's just finish up. We have to go to Ma'ariv soon. Sif Vav.
So till the night.
That's a second opinion. So that first opinion, one opinion is 33 days. But the 33 days, the 33rd day we're making with Havelos of the last day. So it's 33 in the morning, you already stop. And the other sheet is the whole entire 33rd day is not Havelos because it was only 32 Yamim that we observed. Sifav, Yesh Shomim, Shalame Gimel Yamim Elu, Maschilin, Miyoim Beis L'Chodesh. They start with the second day of Chodesh, which is tonight. Beis here. And they complete on Erev Shavuos. According to this opinion that holds that it's the second half, the second 33 days of the 49 days.
It starts when?
It starts from Beis Ear, like he says here, tonight. But what about Lag Baimer? We still know that the whole Velt is Noyeg Lag Baimer to the
No, going to the second one.
Lag Baimer, even though it's the middle of the Yemei Havelus, the second it still says it's Muttar. Have Bishamotel stop at least Lag Baimer. Mekol Maki Kiva in Shin Heter Lach or Mixayim Shukule. Lechein Oilo Lag Baimer Lama Gimel Baimer Gamkin Cheshvan Lama Gimel Shenoyegin Behem Havelus. The third line. It's a mistake. Behem Havelus. Third line on the next page. Lamaisis, according to the second opinion, you're allowed to also be besimcha like Baimer. They're middle of their days of Avelos. How will this count? How can like Baimer, if you're not observing Avelos, how does it count as one of the 33 days? Answer is, this Shita holds Hayois is mixed as Hayom Kekule. The night of like Baimer until the morning, you are going to observe Avelos. It's only the actual day that you're going to be Mekel. So Hayois that you had most of the day, Bavelos, even though it's not the last day, we only say this Kula Mixayim Kekula in the last day of Avelos. So here it's in the middle. This sheet is Mekel that will say Mixayim Kekulai, and it's Keilu you had a whole day of Avelos.
This is probably why the Rebbe says it's better not to do a chasana during Lag Baimer, because we take on both chumras. Since we take on both chumras, according to this sheet, the night is you can't make a chasana at night.
It used to be, but not anymore. The Rebbe gave answer to people to get married.
I think I'm not sure. I don't recall, but it could be it's more Api Kabbalah because the whole concept of not getting married and haircuts is also mentioned in Kabbalah, in Sefirah Kabbalah and Sefirah it's Chaim.
Not about marrying, only about cutting the hair.
Right, but Kinire there could be also something to do with with marrying too. I'm not sure.
No. I mean, if you want to extrapolate, you can
maybe I don't know.
You can extrapolate. All
I have to look into it. Lamaisa, from a halacha
it's
perspective, there's no reason why not to have a wedding on the day of Lag Baimer.
The Rebbe would not give an answer to somebody that married. I mean, the Rebbe sent letters.
The Rebbe said better not to originally. Years ago, the Rebbe said
this letter, a lot of letters from the Rebbe.
Yeah, I told you later on things changed. Later on things changed because of the time and the need. Saying we have to remember it was because of the time and need. There are clear. The Rebbe said it's better to do it after Lag Baimer. It's not the time to do the weddings. Now, watch Api Divrayim. Now, in the second shita that holds the last 33 days is another shita that has a little bit of a different knech. So let's start it a little bit earlier, the last 33 days. Api Divrayim, based on this mahalech, yesh noyegin listaper v'lisa b'chol shloishim agbala. There's some that want to get married during the whole shloishim agbala. El sheheim, how are they going to have 33 days? Not from
Beis Ear?
not from the first day of the Shchodesh year.
Beis Ear, Aleph Ear.
From Lamed Ear, Lamed Nissen. I mean, from this Sunday they start already. Not including Rish Chodesh. So if you start 3 days earlier, you start 2 days earlier. How about the third day? Or mixes oisei machin kakulei. The first day of Shloshim Agbala, you don't have the night. The night you have to observe Avelis. And the morning, in order to have the last day of the 33 days. For the rest, you can make chasanas. So this is what it's based on. Those that are noyek to be mekel in Shloshim Agbala is based on this. Because you have here clearly, according to the second shita, you have a second opinion on the second sheet that says that we start from Ish Chodesh. What's our minig? Our minig is we keep, I'm saying for Lubavitcher minig is to keep both. We keep from Pesach till Atzeres. Originally, they were very Chassidic Chabad, very medayik from Pesach up until Shavuos. There was no cutting here, there was no chasanas. Lamaisa, the time came, there was a need, so things were moved earlier. Except for haircuts, he still left for later. But for weddings, the Rebbe was mekel for like Boimer, and as well for Shloish Shmei Agbala to have chasanas. But this is based on the Shita. Siv Zaydim Yeshloi Safik b'minig hamakim. Someone has a suffix what the minig of the makim is. I'm not sure why there's a suffix in the minig hamakim. Just look what the minig hamakim is. I'm not sure.
Rav Mosef told us one story.
Midway, you have 5 different menhagim.
Heine Yachol. This concept of the news of America, of the way it is now in America, in Eretz Yisrael, only happened after the war. After the war, people moved around. There was a gullus. Until a gullus, Yidden were in the same place for 1,000 years. And in certain Sfaradish place, they did for 2,000 years. They never moved. Minig HaMakom meant literally the minig of the place. There was no such a thing as having 50 shuls, 50 different minhagim in a few miles. The minig in Ger was the minig in Ger, and that was it. The minig in Lubavitch was in Lubavitch, and in Vilna was in Vilna. That was the minig, and that's the way it was for hundreds and hundreds of years. That was the minig, and it wasn't until Chassidim came about and had their own minhagim and different things, but that's the way it was. There was minig hamakim. Now there's no shekansa minig hamakim, so you go by the minig of your shul that you daven in, by your kehillah that you associate with. That's your minig hamakim.
Rav Mosef told us that comes Sefirah, so who said it? The Chazan or the Rab? They start fighting. So they says, okay, let's go to the old man, he's 90-year-old in the nursing home, let's ask him how he used to be in the beginning of the shul. He said, yeah, he used to be the same thing, they used to fight.
Now if you have a Savim and Amakim Yachal, it's called, you can't take both leniencies. You can't take both leniencies, and a Shiyinik Heter ad Shchedishir. Take a Heter until Shchedishir Kisvar Achreina. I'm not sure what it doesn't say Beis here even, but just only keep 18 days of Avelis. Up until Rish Chodesh you'll be matter. After like Boimer you'll be matter. Kisvar Rishona. These two kulas are steer one to another. You can take the chumras of both. Or like the other shita in the second shita, till the first day of Agbala, chutz malak baimer. I'm also doing 2 chumras which are stira. It's either this way or that way. So they're soiser each of these chumras. We don't give him the title like a fool that walks in the darkness. It's just because of a suffix. If you actually think that you have to keep the whole entire time for Pesach Atzeres, you take a ksil. You don't really have to keep from Pesach Atzeres. It's either this one or that one. Because there's a suffix in the minig, so you're allowed to be machmer because you don't know which minig is the ikr. You're not mechuyev to do that, to be machmer that way. So one is allowed to chap on whichever minig he wants in a place where there is no minig. We're not choishish, maybe the minig of the makim is not that way, because of this guy for some reason can't figure out the minig of makim. Since the whole thing is only a minig, and you have a suffix in a minig lakula, just like suffix derabanan lakula, for sure a suffix in a minig lakula. You know the minig of makim. Don't be making when they're machmir. Or to be machmir b'yam shem mekilim, the days that they're mekel. Im einer oisa kei machas chum ba'alma shemachon at lochash tivachmin b'yam melu. El misra v'shoisa kei roilas l'chola b'she'ik machmirin. If you're just being machmir in a place where the minig hamakim is to be mekel in those days, I'm being machmir because I'm just being machmir as a chumrah. That's okay. You want to be a chumrah, so you're allowed to have. But if you're being machmir because you hold that that's the ikr shita like the other day, then you're not allowed to in one place because you're making 2 minhagim in one place. It's oz nira hadavar kishtei Torahs. It looks like you have 2 Torahs in one city, one doing like this and one doing like that. Shehu machmir and shemakim mekilim or lahafach. Either way, you're being machmer or you're being makel against the minhag hamokim. If it's just a chumrah on yourself, it's fine. But if you're saying that's the ikar shita, v'yesh v'ze isa loisas goydedu, kiloimer loisas agudas agudas. What happens if people tell you, don't worry, it's not a machlokes. Some people in the city do keep that day. Said Alter Rebbe's chiddush is when it comes to the isa loisas goydedu, he says it over here, and we need to be ma'ayin in the shita. Loisas goydedu has nothing to do with machlokes. You're not allowed to create two groups in a city. If there's one united front in that city, even if it's not called machlokes.
That's what the Misnagdim said to the Hasidim.
It's not, you don't make machlokes.
What do you do if Lubavitcher Rov when you're invited to do a chasana? You have to go to a chuppah for somebody.
You should make the chasana. It's not such a, it's a good shayla.
Can't do like chassan.
Today you have tons of cities that have different minhagim.
Yeah, so today there's no more this concept you're going against minhag hamokim. Because there's no minhag hamokim. Unless you go, let's say you go to Square Town. Square Town is one minhag, or you go to Kiryas Yoel, you know?
They're not going
or
to
you go maybe to Kwanayitz, where all these communities now also have a lot of other people in these communities.
Right.
Right? But once upon a time, these cities were mamish like just Lubavitch, just Square, just Satmar, and in Satmar was only one group, and everyone. So then when you had this, it was one mahalach, one minhag, it's attack a real minhag hamokim.
It's Magyar today.
What happened with Chassidim Misnagdim was one of the big arguments. Were Chassidim allowed to do their own minhagim or not? I want to tell you a little secret. The Vilna Gaon also did his own minhagim. And he did a lot of shinim minhagim from all the minhagi Ashkenaz.
But they summoned him to bed.
But he only did it in his private shul, but they were also wary about it. In Vilna, by his Levaya, the Graz Levaya, they stood up and they said, they made a chedem and anyone was going to follow the minhagi Agra. They were very worried about it.
Wow.
That to be a big shinim minhagim. He personally himself did not follow any minhag. He felt he did whatever he felt was right. So he learned Kabbalah, he learned Nigla, and he felt this is the way it should be. That's the way it was, and that he sent his Talmud into Eretz Yisrael, and he himself tried to go to Eretz Yisrael also. And he came back, like a lot of Gedolim, and he also wanted to have a yishuv, a new yishuv, in Eretz Yisrael, where he could have new minhagim. But the Chassidim tainted then that if they open up a new shul, even if it's in the same city, a new Beis HaKnesses can be considered a new kehillah. But that was a discussion then. The Gra himself, one time, Chol HaMoed, wanted to come to shul to daven. He didn't have a minyan for some reason by him. And the Gra did not wear tefillin on Chol HaMoed. The Ashkenazim, the Ramah, and Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch, says, clearly you have to wear tefillin on Chol HaMoed. That was the minhag Ashkenaz. Chassidim don't wear. Chassidim don't wear. And the Gra also paskin that you should not be wearing tefillin Chol HaMoed. It's not only a thing al pi Kabbalah not to wear tefillin Chol HaMoed. It's also something al pi Nigla the shittis he shouldn't. Besides the fact that the Gra did a lot of things al pi Kabbalah, but the Gra wanted to come to shul. But if he'd wear tefillin, if he wouldn't wear tefillin, leisis going to do. Even if they would say to the Gra, it's okay, it's not going to make machlokes, but maybe the Gra held also like the Alter Rebbe Shita that even when there's no machlokes, it's a problem he's going to.
Right.
And the Maisim, it would have been a huge machlokes, a big statement. So he took out the klaf, he took out the parshias from his batim, and he sewed them back up, and he walked into shul as if he was wearing tefillin. Maybe I wasn't wearing tefillin.
Wow.
Nobody knew that he took
Just
it.
not to make losses.
No one knew he took out the parshias.
Yeah.
So they thought he was wearing tefillin. And they were happy. They were.
Look at it.
This is a story told over. I wasn't there. I wasn't there, and there's nothing. It's just a nice story, but people say over the story.
They also said that they summoned him. The Vilna Bezdin summoned him that they should stop davening a different nusach, and he was masking.
Yeah. Well, he was called to Bezdin. You know, you have to listen to the Bezdin.
Yeah,
he wasn't. The Vilna guy was not the Rav in Vilna. People think he was not the Rav in Vilna.
He was not the Rosh.
He was not the Bezdin. He had no formal position in the Kehillah. He was the most respected person in Vilna, in Lithuania, but he was not the leader of the Kehillas. He didn't run the Kehillah. He was not a Rav. He wasn't the Av Bezdin. And there was a Bezdin, there was a Rav, and everything, and the Kehillah ran itself.